Hi, this is Diane with Dance Pattern. I'm going to show you how to make an easy circle skirt, and this is waistband the first way. First, what you do is you receive your fabric, and on the fabric will tell you how many yards of notions that you need to get, like the elastic and then the thread, and it's all written on the fabric. Once you get your notion and the fabric, you simply cut the length with the elastic guide that is on the fabric. Then you just cut the fabric. No need to put a pattern on top of it or adjust it or anything. Everything is there. All what we're going to do is just simply cut the fabric. And I'm going to try to speed this up instead of zooming. And hopefully you can see what I'm doing in the double speed that I set it on. Then we got the pieces cut, the waistband, the elastic is there. Oops, I forgot the label and the instructions. I like to keep the instructions with the skirt. So there's your instructions, and then there's your label. Okay, it's coming. There it is. Now we're going to go ahead, cut the center of the circle because I forgot to cut it earlier, so we're going to cut it now. And you can use a scissor. You don't have to use a rotary cutter. Scissor will work just fine. The smaller the rotary blade, the easier it is to do corners and curves. I only use my big rotary blade for straight cuts. Okay, there's all my pieces now, all cut. My skirt. Waistband, and this one had a scarf, my instructions, my label, and I pinned the circle that I cut out for the waist so I know what size it is. And now we're ready to sew. With the scrap fabric, I like to first test out my zigzag to make sure that it's good, and this one's good to go. Take your waistband, fold it in half, mark the center, and we're going to zigzag 1/4 inch away from the edge. And we're going to go just past where the pin was. Skip it and stitch another 1/4 inch at the end. Trim off where you skipped. Clip the thread, and don't forget to do the back. And we're going to finger fold the seam open and put a pin in center back. That's where the seam is. Find the next set of notches, pin it together. Find the next set of notches, pin it together. And then finally your final notches, pin it together, and we're good to go. Now we're going to grab the skirt and we're going to match the notches. Now don't forget to keep the hole towards you when we're pinning this, because we want the hole to be on the inside of the skirt. So pin your first one, pin your second notches, take your pin out and repin it, matching it to the skirt. Grab the notches and the skirt, the waistband notches, and pin it together. Do the same thing for the next one, and we're going to do it for all the area. Then for the beginners, I like to add an extra pin in between those pins, and that's just so that you can, it just makes it a little bit easier for beginners. But once you can feel the fabric and understand this, you can eliminate this extra pinning step. As a matter of fact, you can actually eliminate all the pinning once you get used to it. But this is the first time, so we're going to go ahead and put in any pin that would help us. Now from the center back, we're going to start stitching. We're going to stitch 1/4 inch from the edge, taking a pin out as you go. And we want to keep the edge of the circle skirt and the edge of the waistband together. zigzaggy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to feed the elastic through. Grab a safety pin. And I usually have a big safety pin handy at all times. Put it on the end. And we're going to feed it through. Keep feeding it through, making sure that the elastic is not twisted. Keep going. Get to where you started, pull the elastic out, and this is where I pinned the elastic together. Straighten it up in the waistband, and this is where I like to do my first fitting. We're going to go ahead and take it to the performer, put it on there, pull the elastic to where they like it, and ask them how they like it. If they like it tighter or looser, you're going to go ahead and repin it to exactly where they want it. And once it's good, it's good. We can now take it off and go back to the sewing machine. Pull it out so that it's easy to work with. Mark where your pin was. And we're going to overlap. And if there's a lot of extra, you can trim it off. They wanted it really, really tight. Go ahead and go and sew a box square with a zigzag. Start your zigzag box square. This is when the needle down is really perfect for it. Makes things so much easier. Put it back in, straighten up the elastic. We need a little help shoving it in a little bit there. Straighten up. And now we're going to hand stitch the seam closed. You can do a whip stitch, a blind stitch, any way you like to do it. This is up to you. And once you do it, you can tie a knot. And I don't know why, but I always tie a knot. And then I do another stitch and then tie a knot again. And I think it has to do with, I've worked with nylon threads before, and a lot of the times, even though you knot it, it still comes loose because of the nylon on it. And so I've just gotten in a habit of knotting it twice. And I forgot to put the label in, but you can put your label in now if you like. And then that's it. You can hem it or you don't have to hem it. It's lycra. You cut and sew. You can make this in a day. How simple is that?